Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive, and I mean massive, surge of investment into India's healthcare sector to figure out what it all means for the future. Okay, let's just jump right in with a huge number, $3.5 billion. Now, that figure alone is pretty stunning, right? But what makes it truly incredible is how fast it happened. Yup, you heard that right. That's the amount of cash that poured into India's pharmaceutical and healthcare world in just the third quarter of 2025. That is an absolutely monumental injection of capital in only 3 months. So, you've got to be asking, where did all this money even come from? And what does it really tell us about where the industry is headed? Is this just a fluke, a temporary spike, or is it a sign of something much, much bigger? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. To really get what's going on here, we've got to break down that big headline number. Because, not all investment is created equal. And the details reveal the real strategy behind all this spending. And wow, when you break it down, a really clear picture emerges. The lion's share, a whopping $2.5 billion, came from mergers and acquisitions. That's big, established companies buying up other companies. It's a classic move towards consolidation. Sure, public offerings and private equity were in the game, but M&A was the undisputed king this quarter. And this is where it gets super interesting, because you're seeing two totally different strategies playing out at the same time. On one side, you have M&A, which is all about getting bigger. We're talking 36 deals, a 57% jump from the last quarter. That's big fish eating smaller fish to get stronger. But on the other side, you've got private equity making these really smart targeted bets on the future, funding 32 deals in newer, more innovative areas like health tech and pharma services. Now get this. Think about it for a second. Out of all the deals this quarter, just 7 of them, these high-value mega deals accounted for almost all the investment, bringing in $2.6 billion. This shows us investors weren't just sprinkling cash around. They were making huge, concentrated bets on who they think the big winners are going to be. So to see this strategy in action, let's drill down and look at the single biggest deal of the quarter. It tells a powerful story about the entire sector. I mean, in a quarter that was already packed with huge numbers, one transaction was so big it was responsible for nearly half of the total M&A value all by itself. This was the deal that really defined the quarter. We're talking about Torrent Pharma buying up a major stake in JB Chemicals. And this wasn't just some random purchase, okay? This was a calculated, strategic strike by Torrent to seriously boost its market share in very specific, very profitable areas of medicine, especially chronic care. So let's talk about the price tag, 1.4 times billion dollars for a single deal. A number like that signals more than just investment. It signals massive, massive confidence and an ambition to not just compete, but to completely dominate the market. Right, so a deal that big and a quarter that busy, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum. What are the larger forces at play that are making investors so incredibly bullish on Indian healthcare right now? Well, according to the IBF report, it's pretty much a perfect storm. You've got this renewed investor confidence meeting a sector that already has strong fundamentals and a great track record. And that creates this powerful hunger for both getting bigger through consolidation and for driving growth by investing in new tech and innovation. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The experts are seeing this as a sign of something much bigger. This quote from Grant Thornton Bharat really hits the nail on the head. It says, "This rebound points to a growing, widespread optimism around India's entire life sciences ecosystem." So what we're seeing isn't just a random spike. It's a signal that the foundations are there for some major future growth. Okay, so let's zoom back out for a second and think about the big picture takeaway from all this activity. What does a $3.5 billion quarter really mean for what's coming next? When you put it all together, the multi-billion-dollar investments, the strategic mergers all about scale, the smart money funding innovation, it paints a very, very clear picture. We are looking at a sector that is absolutely poised for some significant transformational growth, fueled by both size and smarts. And that leaves us with the really big question, doesn't it? Is this just a fantastic quarter for India, or are we watching the beginning of a major shift in the global healthcare landscape? With this level of investment and strategy, is India about to become the world's pharmacy? Now that's the billion-dollar question we should all be watching.